Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. A bit late on this cricket happening show today, well, as you know, the World Cup is done and dusted. 2015, Australia are the newly crowned champions. Well, I know that the quality of my broadcasting, as far as the World Cup finals report was concerned, was a bit dicey because I had some throat problems. And but as you know, cricket is very dear to me. It doesn't matter whether I'm sick or not. I'm always there to talk on cricket. So once again, keeping the cricket happening show going here. Now World Cup is over, so now we are going to look at some other aspects. We'll look at some cricket news. Look at some maybe down the line, if at all I find time. I will also dwell on the World Cup. What a I would say it has been a very big scoring World Cup. There have been lots of runs scored, lots of centuries scored, lots of records broken. So probably I'll have a chance to actually, share my thoughts on that. But first and foremost, as I said, now the cricket happening show will have a different tinge because, as I said, now I'll be covering the cricket news. I'll do cricket analysis, cricket reviews, cricket previews, cricket match reports, cricket summaries, you name it, and everything would be there with your host Ram. So today, the first news that I would like to talk about, we are keeping the news in Pakistan. Now Pakistan, as you know, Misbah-ul Haq had played his last World Cup year in 2015, and that was it for Misbah-ul Haq as far as that. But what a wonderful one-day international captain. He has been so sad that Misbah-ul Haq, who has been the person who has been holding the Pakistani innings together, time and again, I really feel sorry for Misbah-ul Haq. Every time he walked into the middle of the pitch, the score would have been reading either 28 for 3, 38 for 4, or 54 for 4, whatever the case may be. Pakistan have always been struggling, and the Misbah-ul Haq has always been coming when the chips were down for Pakistan, and then he has to really repair the whole setup there, and then start off from scratch, and then slowly accelerate and slowly, nurture them towards safety. This has been something that Misbah-ul Haq has always been going through. But what a cricketer! Finally hanging up his gloves as far as one-day internationals are concerned in the World Cup. He still continues to be the Test captain. So that essentially meant that Misbah-ul Haq, who has ended his one-day international career, definitely one has to really go for a replacement. But to get a replacement to as a captain to replace Misbah-ul Haq, according to me, in Pakistan is going to be a very tough job, because Misbah-ul Haq, I thought he was a man of very less emotion, and he was cool as a cucumber. Always I had a feeling that he always had a role what Mahendra Singh Dhoni has performed for India. Well, Mahendra Singh Dhoni has been extremely successful. Misbah-ul Haq probably not so successful because of a lack of team support, in the sense he has not been getting the much needed support from his team members. Let us thank Misbah-ul Haq for a very glittering one-day international career that he had for Pakistan. And he also, I thought he was someone who was liked by the cricketing world, because he had a very gentle demeanor, and he was a thorough gentleman, and he had a good team spirit too. So now, as far as Pakistan are concerned, there is a lot of revamping. First is they have to definitely replace the captain of the Pakistan team, the one-dayers, and the new person who is going to take in the reins from Misbah-ul Haq is a pretty surprising, because the reason being, he never figured he played his last one-day international in 2013. He didn't play in this World Cup, so it's a big gap for him. And surprise of surprises, I would say, Azhar Ali, one of the very compact player, wonderful test player. In fact, he is in the classical mold, and the Pakistan Cricket Board has decided to blood Azhar Ali as the Pakistan's new one-day international captain. Definitely wish him good luck, and I'm told he has captained a lot of county sides there he has captained a lot of domestic sides, and he has done them successfully, and they feel that he definitely has a lot of leadership quality, and Azhar Ali has got the nod. So Azhar Ali has a big task on hand, no doubt about it, especially considering Azhar Ali is pretty young, and he will have a lot of experienced blokes with whom he would be actually playing. So Azhar Ali has been the unanimous choice as far as the Pakistan Cricket Board is concerned. So that's the news which is coming up. And for Pakistan, they are also that is one change which was forced on them by Misbah-ul-Haq actually retiring from this particular format of the game. But also for Pakistan, they had another thing to do, and that was to appoint some new selectors. Now I'm told that it is Moin Khan. Moin Khan is out of the mix as far as the selection is concerned. As you know, he was the chief of the selectors. He is no longer the chief of the selectors. The chief of the selectors is going to be Harun Rashid. One would remember he was a wonderful player, Harun Rashid, in his time when he used to play for Pakistan. So he is going to be he's the person who is going to be heading the selection committee, which consists of 4 players. So the new 4-member selection panel would be Harun Rashid would be the chief person in the selection committee, and then he would be joining 3 others. One is Kabir Khan. Now Kabir Khan is a very, very renowned name in international cricket. We know he was, I don't remember the English county for which he was playing, but he used to play in the English County Cricket League, and then one of the associate nations which really made a lot of waves in this World Cup, and we know that Kabir Khan was not a part of it. It was Andy Moles, but Kabir Khan, let me tell you, he was the one who had nurtured Afghanistan to the T20 World Cup, and now they also played the 2015. I think their whole, I would really credit everything to this gentleman Kabir Khan, who is the new selector in as far as Pakistan is concerned. So Kabir Khan has been the man under the tutelage of whom this Afghanistan team has really built up a great team, no doubt about that, and one of the strongest associate nations in this World Cup. And Kabir Khan is the other one who would be along with Harun Rashid, and there is also Azhar Khan, and then Salim Jaffer. Salim Jaffer is someone that everyone would remember, especially India would remember. In the days of Imran Khan, Salim Jaffer, Aqib Javed, these were all household names, and Salim Jaffer was a wonderful left-arm pace bowler under the leadership of Imran Khan, the former Pakistan captain, and we all know Salim Jaffer. So Salim Jaffer is the new selector. So this is the selection committee. So there's a lot of revamping as far as the one-day selection committee is concerned, and also the Misbah-ul-Haq, as I said, was a forced move because Misbah-ul-Haq has retired from one-day internationals. They had to induct a new captain. So Azhar Ali is the new captain. But Azhar Ali, if you look at Azhar Ali's record, he has only played 14 one-day internationals. He has not done anything of note. If you look at his, he has a lot to prove. So basically, what one can look at after looking at Azhar, my feeling is that Azhar is looking like a sort of a Misbah-ul-Haq type player who does not. I would say Azhar Ali is having greater technique than any other batsman in the Pakistan team. He's technically very, very proficient. We have seen in the test matches how he has scored. So he would be the binding force in this Pakistan cricket team. Not only one is as a captain, he has to lead well, and also according to me, he would be the binding force as far as Pakistan cricket is concerned, because in one-day internationals you also need, in 50 overs, you also need someone to actually hold the innings, and that's what I think that Azhar Ali is the one who would be absolutely tailor-made for that. You could hold the innings and probably play some real cricket strokes or orthodox strokes, as you know. So that is the news which is coming up. Azhar Ali is the new captain. Misbah-ul-Haq will continue to be the test captain of Pakistan, and Shahid Afridi would always be the captain of the T20 format, as you know. So now from here I am taking you down to South Africa, and the reason I am taking you to South Africa is that there was one player one would have not one would probably have not seen much of him, but one thing that everyone would remember about this player, he was a South African opener. He used to open with Graham Smith, and one of the records that he holds would probably help you think, probably give you a clue as to who this ball. But I know it's very, very difficult. There was a test record which was a very big test record, which was standing for 52 years for South Africa. For 52 years as far as international test cricket was concerned, and that record was there was the opening partnership for the opening partnership. And as far as the opening partnership is concerned, the name, now I am going to break open the name, and his name is Neil Mackenzie. Now you'll know why I'm talking about him, because Neil Mackenzie at the age of 39 has retired, and he was the one, if at all I would remember Neil Mackenzie, it could only be because of that, because one of the partnerships that one could remember is the Graham Smith, the captain of South Africa, along with opener Neil Mackenzie, formed a formidable partnership, and they broke a test record, as I said, which was standing for 52 years, when they put on 415 runs for the first wicket against Bangladesh in February 2008. And Neil Mackenzie was a person who was a good stroke maker, but basically he was not the one to be really playing a lot of strokes. But what was good about him was he had a very, very compact defense, and he was technically pretty perfect. He had his struggles when in Australia, no doubt about it, and he found it a pretty difficult over there, no doubt about it. And also Neil Mackenzie he has retired. He has finally retired. He had already retired from international cricket. Now he has also retired from first-class cricket. In fact, he actually retired in a great style, because one of the domestic tournaments we call the Sunfoil Cup there in Johannesburg in South Africa, he was actually leading the Lions, and he took them to victory against the Warriors, and by scoring an unbeaten double hundred. So one would probably wonder why Neil Mackenzie retired, but yes, he retired. And as far as Neil Mackenzie is concerned, now looking at his international record, he played 58 tests. He played into 64 one-day internationals, and he only played 220s, because the reason being he was a very slow player. I mean, he was very slow off the blocks, and he was more of a defensive player than anything. But I thought Neil Mackenzie was a good player, but definitely he couldn't keep his place in the South African team. But so Neil Mackenzie has retired from first-class cricket. Now, as you know, the World Cup is over. Now the focus will slowly but surely shift on to the Indian Premier League. Indian Premier League is something which keeps on happening, and Indian Premier League edition, which is beginning on 8th of April. So we are not very far away from it, because probably only 1 week to go, and the Indian Premier League 2015 would kick off. Now, just a bit of news coming in from Kolkata Knight Riders. Kolkata Knight Riders, as you know, they are the defending champions in the Indian Premier League, and they have lost the services of James Neesham, who unfortunately missed the World Cup. And as you know, James Neesham was replaced by Grant Elliott, and at that time there were a lot of words being told. Even I spoke on my Cricket Happening show and said that James Neesham is such a talented player and he is not there in the mix of things, but I am told he is injured, and his place is taken by Azhar Mahmood, who is a very, very talented player. And then Chris Lynn, the Australian, the very good hitter of the ball, Chris Lynn, who played in the last IPL season, would be replaced by the former spinner from South Africa, Johan Bertha Reda, was spinner, and also an all-rounder, because he can also bat a bit. So this is as far as this news is concerned. So now I thought I covered quite a bit as far as today's Cricket Happening show is concerned. Now just going back to the World Cup, what we saw in this World Cup 2015 in Australia and New Zealand is that there were tons of runs scored, lots of records broken. So one record that immediately comes to mind is Martin Guptill. Now Martin Guptill of New Zealand went on to score now he holds the record for the highest score in World Cup history of 237 unbeaten runs, and what an effort that was. That was a stupendous effort, and that was something which came against the West Indies. What a stupendous effort from Martin Guptill. And then in fact this was the first time in a World Cup the 200 mark was breached by two batsmen. First it was Chris Gayle, who had the proud distinction of becoming the first double centurion in World Cup history, and then Martin Guptill followed that with 237 unbeaten runs. So you could just imagine what a run-filled World Cup this has been. I was really surprised. Looking at the Australian pitches, I never thought that there would be tons of runs scored like this. Not only that, and then we go back to a great record which the Sri Lankan player who has now retired from the one-day international arena, Kumar Sangakkara, one of the great batsmen gracing Sri Lankan cricket for a long time. He retired, and look at his record. He became the first person in the annals of World Cup history to make 4 centuries on the trot. That is another impeccable record that Kumar Sangakkara created. So, and also we saw tons of runs scored. Kyle Coetzer going on to make his maiden century for his team. I thought it was Scotland, if I'm not wrong. Kyle Coetzer went on to make the first maiden century of the World Cup. There were a lot of things which happened, and I was a bit surprised that that there was tons of runs scored on Australian pitches, which is pretty pacey and bouncy. And not only that, the other thing that surprised me was India, because India, as I said, I never gave any chance to India, and India really surprised everybody by coming into the semi-finals with a limited bowling attack, which was crippled, I would say, because they lost the services of a lot of other pace bowlers. Like they didn't have Varun Arun, they didn't have Ishan Sharma, there was no Zahir Khan, and still I thought Indians definitely made themselves very proud with this particular achievement that they had by reaching the semi-finals of the World Cup 2015. Well, as I said, now the other main event that we'll be focusing on would be the Indian Premier League 2015, which will be kicking off on 8th of April. Well, dear fans, subscribers, that really brings an end to this Cricket Happening show of mine, and there'll be more Cricket Happening shows as usual, as you all know, when I come back tomorrow live with you, dear fans and subscribers, to talk on this Cricket Happening show. Until then, it's goodbye for the day. Thank you.